You know that doesn't work in there? It won't charge. Hey y'all, what it do? Come on in the room. I'm so excited because this is my first day that I'm purposely on YouTube and YouTube only. I know. I know you're probably like, what, Paris? Like, why did this happen? Like, and I'm just letting you know, I believe that this is going to be really good for all the things, all the things that are coming. And it's funny because I was talking to someone and they were like, "Oh, well, conversations from Paris. Oh, you want to have it on multiple platforms?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I believe that this is going to be my primary platform, and it's because of the evolution of all the things that I want to do. So you gotta have to house it somewhere. And I think it was a little bit chaotic trying to manage all the different places. So the actual broadcast is anything lengthy that I would have will from now on be on YouTube. Yeah, I'm even trying to figure out like the intro and stuff. Like I'm gonna be all professional and stuff. Okay, like I'm gonna have me intro music and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get it all together. But I'm excited to make this transition. I'm excited to kind of make this my own. Can y'all believe April will make 2 years that I've been doing this thing? I think April 4th is the exact date. Can you believe that? Wait a minute. Hold on. Get your life, parents. If that's correct, I'm going to look for the date. I'm not sure. If April 4th is the correct date, is that 4422? Listen. That better not be 4422 because if it is, I'm about to clown. Anyway, it goes, I'm definitely going to celebrate being conversations from Paris or being live for the last 2 years. Like I'm elated. I'm super excited. I'm super fired up to believe that I've been doing this for 2 years almost. Like I can't even. So I'm excited. I'm so happy that you guys have been with me so far and you've been rocking with me. And so, let's get this party started. Like that's the whole goal is to get this thing really going. So today I'm going to continue with the hot topics. Let me tell y'all something. I kind of really always have commentary on things. And I was like, you know what? I never wanted to ever seem like it was gossipy or weird or like I'm talking about people, but I feel like it's kind of cool to give my mental health spin on it and why it affects you and why it affects me and maybe what I think that we need to know about the mental health piece of all these things. So I think it can be educational, interesting, different spin on it. And so you guys let me know if you have any ideas and suggestions. I will think about getting those video clips about that stuff. So just in case you haven't seen it in the news, so it doesn't seem like it's completely first time you're hearing it. But as of right now, I'm kind of working like, how the talk shows do. They take certain headlines and they just run with it. So just gotta give it a different spin on that. So let's get started, guys. So I have a few things that I wanted to get on. Matter of fact, it was a lot in the news this week. Oh my God, this was like a packed week for news stories. So I'm definitely going to kind of be very strategic with how I come in because It can be overwhelming to have all these stories. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to all of them, but I'm gonna try my darndest to do it. All right. So, and if you guys have any comments, please go ahead and post them. And before I get started, these are things that I'm going to remember to say now. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. My name is Paris Johnson. I do a mental health show called Conversations from Paris. It is not boring. It is something that is beneficial for our everyday life because everything originates in your thoughts and your mindset. So my goal is to bring light to that conversation and change lives one conversation at a time. So welcome if you don't know me. If you do know me, and your first time coming over here on YouTube, do not forget to subscribe, guys. Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe to the channel. It's a big red button that says to subscribe when you finally click the link. And then when you go ahead, like the video, like this video, like any videos that you watch so that the algorithms can go up, and then share. There's a share button and you can press the link and share it on different social media platforms, or you can share it to text messages, all these different things. This technology is so easy for this thing. So you can share these things. And then also, guys, comment. This is our channel. This is not just me. So the goal is for us to have a platform that we can talk about these topics freely and have these conversations. So don't let it just be me talking. I want you guys to comment, even if it's after the fact. I read all comments. I say it again, I read all comments. So I want you guys to go ahead, and if you're on live, the whole goal is for you guys to engage, right? So I want you guys to engage. And again, I have a lot of changes, a lot of things coming on. So you want to be very much involved. And don't forget to turn the notification bell on. You should see a bell, and the bell is you click on it, it says turn notifications on. What that's for is so you know when I go live, you know when I drop a new video, anything new that's going on with the channel, it's going to help you stay up to date with it because things are changing so quickly. I'm sure I get a lot of people say, oh my God, I didn't know you were even live. Oh my God, I didn't even understand you had this going on. So I'm just trying to keep you guys updated so you know what's going on. Okay, let's go. So first one, the first thing that I saw and that was kind of heartbreaking was the actress Tiffany Haddish. I think it said she got a DUI, and I was just like, I know she went through a lot lately. I think I read something that she lost 4 people very close to her in a very short period of time. And even before I heard that, I was like, my heart reached out. Hey, Candace, girl, welcome back. Thanks for coming back on, girl. I was very disheartened. I was very, some people want to judge and say, oh, see, look what she did. She's drinking and driving, and I can't believe that, she's out here like that. And that wasn't the first thing that came to my mind. The first thing that came to my mind was what's going on. She has, I have a heart for a lot of different celebrities because sometimes people have been, they're regular people like me and you. So I'm not starstruck by people. I don't put people on platforms or, pedestals and believe that they can do no wrong or harm. And I don't judge them harshly because guess what? They are people. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to fail. I do understand much is given, much is required, but I also believe a lot of people are thrust into that spotlight, even if they run after it and don't even realize the pressures of the very thing that they are running for. They look at the benefits of it, but they don't understand the cost of it. And if you ever know anything about like certain people, like I follow Tiffany Haddish, I think she's actually very much brilliant. And I'm really disheartened at some of the extreme criticism that goes towards her. Some of her humor is not my humor, but if you know her backstory, if you ever care to know, she came from a very harsh upbringing, and I feel like she has really overcome a lot of things, and I'm proud of her. Like, I just feel proud of her. I don't know if she's older than me or younger than me, it doesn't even matter. I just feel proud that she's overcome a lot of things and she's not done, and it's hard for me to throw the book at her. So I'm really just praying that that she is able to overcome this. People have done much worse and overcome it. So I believe that she'll get past this too. Hopefully it'll make her stronger. Hopefully she has a good support system around her of people who love and care for her. Because let me tell you something, this is something that can really mess with your mental health. It really can. Like I told you guys before, addiction is a symptom of a deeper mental health issue. And I'm not even saying mental health illnesses, but I mean, it has to do with that. It's a form of escapism. It's a tool people use to self-medicate. And so like, it's something serious. Yeah, Candace, you said I think people forget the humanity of celebrities. That's exactly it is. People absolutely forget the humanity, and they want to judge, and they want to jump down people's throat, and they don't realize that just like when you have a bad day, nobody really sees what you say or hears what you say or what you do. Like, we need to give the same grace to these people. And listen, I haven't walked a mile in their shoes. I told somebody the other day, I don't want all these people following me around, because I know I'm not perfect. I know I don't say the right things sometimes. So it's like, I really just, I give grace because I want grace, right? We just really need to be better at that. So I really hope that she has a support system around her that can pour into her, I hope she has a therapist if she doesn't already. I know her backstory, some of it, and I'm sure she didn't tell us everything. I know some of her backstory, and I just have compassion pouring out of me for her. So that's what I just want to remind you guys that, like, stop just looking at the addiction. Stop looking at the symptoms. Stop looking at, oh, she got a DUI. That's the least of concern. Look at the root. There's a root under there. And whatever that is, that's unhealed. And it's a wound. And sometimes it can just be symptomatic of a situation, a single situation. But I believe that there's more there. And so I'm just going to be praying, and I just sending her good thoughts and hope, hoping that she heals and that she gets through it. I'm rooting for her. I don't care what anybody says. I'm rooting for her. You guys have different thoughts. That's just what I feel. Speaking of that, I saw another one, which was very disheartening as well. I saw Wendy Williams. And it's funny that I'm talking about hot topics. I think she's one of those people that use that terminology, hot topics, as well. Wendy Williams was recently hospitalized in a mental hospital, I heard, due to an episode where she unclothed herself in front of her manager and did some disturbing things. And a lot of people like to make jokes about her and say things, but she's been through a lot of things. And I don't have to like what she does. I don't have to subscribe to it. I didn't watch the Wendy Williams show, not judging anybody who did. But I don't have to like it in order to say that, hey, she's still a person. If she did the things, and those are allegedly, if she did the things that they said she did, there's some serious concerns. And mental health, again, is such a fragile thing. We know she had some addiction issues as well. And none of that stuff is a joke. I don't find it that funny. I get some people have to laugh, but I think that these are real issues, real things. And it's hard to really, what's the word I want to use? It's hard for me to hear people throwing a chair at these people and judging these people. And it's like, wait, sir, didn't you just lose your child, visiting rights to your child because of the DUI you had? Now, I'm not throwing shade. I'm saying we all, look, Candace, you said right here, people are people. We all need Jesus for sure. Healing or deliverance for something. That's the thing. Like, people are so fast to throw the judgment, and they don't want that same judgment back. They need grace. They have a million things of why things happen to them, but they're not able to give that grace that they're asking for, right? And it's just, again, my heart was sad. I'm hoping if she's in the mental hospital now, I'm sending well wishes. I'm praying that she gets the help that she needs, because let me tell y'all something about, if you don't know about addiction and recovery, it is a long, hard road. Everybody has different stories, but you really need to give grace, because you don't understand if you have not been through it. And even if you've been through it, this is the one thing I tell people: your journey is not going to be the same as somebody else. I love when people say, well, When I went through that, it only took me this. Well, I'm not you. You're not me. It's going to be different for everybody. So we definitely should not be like ready to be the judge and the jury. You know, I don't want to be. I don't listen. I'm in a different point in my life. I don't want to be anybody's judge or jury, because let me tell you something. You better be careful when you're the accuser. You better be careful, because when you sit in that seat, then all's fair. All's fair. When you sit in that seat, all's fair, right? So, okay, so let me move on to the next thing. This was anybody in the church world. I didn't even want to bring this up at first, but if anybody heard about the whole Mike Todd situation, so Mike Todd is a pastor who's became very, very popular really quickly, but he's been preaching for a while, so I don't think he's like new. I follow him. I think he's a great person. I think he's done a lot for this community. I think he's done a lot for the Christian community, and I think he's a really good guy. Well, he did a demonstration this past Sunday where he was trying to demonstrate what Jesus did when he healed the blind man, by taking spit on his hand and rubbing it in the blind man's eye with the dirt, and then the blind man was able to see. Well, I guess what he did is he took his own spit, and well, he set this demonstration up, and I think they said it was his brother or something, or somebody close to him, that he asked for permission beforehand, and basically he had. Listen, I'll be honest with y'all, it was so disgusting I could not watch it, so I don't know. So I'm gonna tell y'all what I heard. He had some spit into his hands and spit on the man's face, and then he was and I guess people recorded it and they sent it out to all the social media things like, can y'all believe this? And yeah, it was his little brother. I think I heard that. You said you were watching live and it was rough. Listen, let me tell you something. I was like, I couldn't watch it. Let me just be honest with you. I don't want to watch it. I know what it was like. If I was watching at the time, I'm sure I would watch it. Just like if you were watching a movie and something happens like that. Of course, when the social media outlets got ahead of it, oh my God, they said everything about this guy, from the fact that here's another preacher abusing his rights as a preacher, and this is abuse, and this is it was all type of allegations. And it was weird that a lot of like people that were Christians that were following him, even they were like, oh, he took it too far, and it's not. And so I had, let me tell you something I've learned to do. I've learned to be quiet for a little bit, listen to the facts, watch everything, and then form an opinion, and then still give grace. Let me tell you why. Because just as fast as people will clap for you, people will also throw stones at you. Okay? Just as fast as people will clap for you, they will also throw stones at you. And you have to be super careful. The reality is, what you don't understand about it is, it was maybe a poor choice of a demonstration. Maybe he didn't think it all the way through how it would play out. And honestly, afterwards, he apologized. I don't know if you guys you can go look, you'll see he put an apology up for it. And I could appreciate that, because everybody doesn't necessarily apologize, especially if they feel like what they did was right. But I saw it differently. I saw it as, let me give you an example. Y'all ever seen The Passion of the Christ? I have not watched that movie, but everybody told me it was very hard to watch. And it's hard for me to watch stuff that's super like, I have a really queasy stomach. But as much as I did not watch Passion of the Christ, I knew that it was important for some people to see the imagery of the nails in his hand, the nails in his side. People needed to see that. And so as much as I understand why he did it, I might not agree with his method, but I don't believe that I'm going to stone the man because he did something maybe that was not completely thought out. Somebody got healed from that. I'm going to tell you that. Somebody was able to use that and be good. And I think that we have to be careful because people are so finicky. I mean, people were just tearing this guy down, and I'm just like, come on, guys. You were praising him yesterday. So that's just the careful thing about not letting people inflate you, because if you let people inflate you, those be the same people that pull you down. I am praying that he has a strong support system around him that can pour into him and build him back up and understand and let him understand that error or judgment or whatever people want to call it is not the totality of who you are, and for him to keep going. I just hope it does not slow him down. I hope that he's able to recover. I really hope so, because people have been so harsh and I don't agree with their assessment of it at all. I believe it was a possible bad judgment call of one small situation, and I don't believe that it's worth everybody's negative words. And most people need to just be quiet, because a lot of people just open their mouth that just shouldn't. Like, you barely got over your scandal. You just was waiting for Mike Todd so people could stop talking about you. So it just be tripping me out. Like, people just, how soon do they forget? Candace, what did you say? You said he spit it in his hands. He rubbed it on his face. And he continued with the message. And my God, I needed it, right? Because right now, parts of my life look rough, nasty, gross to other, but God is doing the work. Sis, you just testified. See? And it's so funny because I didn't read this, but I had just said what I said about how some people could use it and it helped some people. And we right on the same page. You don't know what people could use. And so it helped somebody, and obviously it helped you. And that's like even the idea of the Passion of the Christ. It's the whole idea of like, that was hard for me. I can watch it, but I know it helped so many people. It helped to make this thing that we do real, right? So I'm glad you said that, because I realized a lot of people won't be honest about that. So I'm glad you had you said you watched the Passion of Christ. It was gut wrenching. You said it was gut wrenching to think of the sights, pains, and sounds our Savior went through for me, and the movie was life changing for me as well. You see what I'm saying? I didn't see it, but I know it was life changing. That's what I know. And so those demonstrations are necessary. So we might agree to disagree. I'm not here to argue it. I'm saying, my whole point of bringing these things up is to bring the mental health piece to you up. And my thing is that don't allow people to inflate you. Don't allow your self-esteem to be built on the opinions of man, because the same people that can build you up will be the same people that tear you down. Like, you have to have your own self-esteem. You have to understand your own purpose. You have to understand your own values. You have to understand your wherewithal and why you're doing what you're doing, so you can understand how to move. And so then when you understand and get convicted about things, like he said he watched it back and honestly realized that was gross. And he's apologized for it. But he did also say what he was trying to do. So he had his convictions. He apologized. But I think he's going to continue to go. And that's when you understand what your purpose was, and you're not going to allow the tearing down of man to stop you. There's so many people that get one little criticism and they stop everything they do. They scrap everything. They stop it. Listen, I've been doing this for 2 years. I went from having, I think one live I had almost 100 people in there, to sometimes I have one or two. You think I'm going to stop? No, I'm not going to stop. I have so much more to do. I can't worry about it. I know people see my stuff, and I'm working on just opening my audience. But if I was to stop by looking at what I saw in front of me, I would never get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be very careful about not allowing us to be like really dedicated to what people do, because that could really drive people up and down. Like, really, I'm always telling people to be very thoughtful. Again, it's the grace that people just, the empathy, the compassion. A lot of people lack it. We don't have it, and we often are in the seat of the judge, but we do not want to be in that seat of the person that is being judged, right? All right, so let's see. Here's another one. I don't know if I want to talk about that one. Okay, here's one I thought was interesting. There are felony charges being brought up against a man, that 27-year-old man who got into a fatal crash in 2019 in his Tesla. His Tesla was on autopilot, and it ran at light, and it slammed into the back of a car, killing 2 people. This is the first felony charge in one of these autopilot accidents. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to talk about that. I thought that was super interesting because if you don't know, I'm a science nerd. And so I find AI super, super interesting. And I know a lot of people are very paranoid about AI. And I, just in case people don't know, AI is artificial intelligence. And I know a lot of people are paranoid about it. And they're like, oh my God, these machines are taking over. They're going to replace us. They're robots. They're going to, end us and be the demise of us. I have a slightly different process thought of it. I welcome technology. I welcome the advancement, but I'll be honest with you. When I saw these autopilot cars, let me tell you something. No part of me can. I barely let people drive me around. Let's talk about it. I'm still working on certain control issues. I barely allow people to drive me around, let alone this car drive me off of the brain of a computer, a very intelligent computer, but nonetheless a computer. My concerns were because I work with computers very closely. I've been doing tech support for years. I went to school for electrical engineering. I work with website and development now. And one of the things I know, especially with automation, is that all automation is coded. And artificial intelligence is meant to take the behaviors and to study them, and then to teach the computer to learn from these experiences and be better. My concern here is that you have adults that don't know how to do that. And although computers can be intelligent, I don't think that developers bring in enough defensive things that I believe are necessary. I don't think all things are thought of, right? Like sometimes when I'm driving, I have to be able to see out of both of my peripherals, see out of my back window, and see what's going on in front of me and not be distracted in order for me to try to avoid collisions that are not my fault. So you can imagine with me doing that in traffic and I'm trying to do all these things still can happen. So I can't imagine that a machine is going to be able to master that instinct, that gut instinct. I just don't think it will. So I'm still not against it. However, I brought this up, and how does it relate to mental health? I think it relates to mental health because you got to imagine this is a 27-year-old man, and he let the car drive, and I'm not sure what he was doing while the car was driving. They do tell you that when you do have an autopilot, you have to be close around and waiting and there to help. My concern with that is you guys know what you were doing. They advertise it so that it can self-drive, but then they tell you to be there just in case to drive and handle it. I think that was something to kind of cover themselves, right? And I believe that the reality of it is they set these people up for failure. Now they're saying, oh, now we understand you can't, just use the autopilot by itself. And I feel sad that young boy, I think they're trying to give him life in prison for that, right? And I'm sure he didn't think about that when he thought it was really cool to drive a Tesla. First of all, what 27-year-old got a Tesla? So either his rich parents gave it to him and he worked hard and he kind of just got money really quickly, whichever. I'm sure he didn't really understand the weight that was happening. So I hope that he's able to not go crazy. I'm sure he believes that this is unfair. This is not right. I'm not sure if I agree with felony charges for him. I think there should be some liability on Tesla. But again, they covered their butt, right? Because they said, hey, we always told them to be close by the wheels. So I just hope that he can recover from this. It's just sad. And they were even talking about an Uber driver that was testing the, I don't know if you guys knew about the self-driving cars in Arizona. I guess he killed a pedestrian. And I mean, it's sad because these are real people that lost their life due to us testing stuff out. And let's be clear, this is not the first, second, third time that testing things out have taken human lives, right? So that's the part where you can't ignore that piece of it. And so I get it. I just hope that he's able to recover and he doesn't go crazy. I just think it's not cool when, companies use like people not fully researching things and being too excited and put something out and know that they can kind of put their hands up like that's not how I meant to use it. That's the part that's not cool. Like I like, Tesla, but I can't rock with them because of that. I just think that wasn't cool. If anything, they should be lobbying for that guy not to go to jail forever, right? Just hard. So, okay, so I want to go to the next one. There has been a mass exodus in the nursing field, in the teaching field, in fast food, in retail places. There's been a worker shortage all over the United States. And people they had a report about it. And the reality is a lot of it came post-pandemic. And if you know about those fields, they were hit hard by the pandemic. I mean, everybody was hit hard, but those especially because school had to go on. The nurses, the hospitals were full. They still are full. And from my understanding, the pay was definitely not, it did not reflect what it needed to. They didn't get that, what is that called? I'm trying to think of that word. They didn't get that extra pay. What was the pay? I want to call it emergency pay, but that's not what it was called. There was some type of pandemic pay that they were supposed to get because they put their lives in jeopardy to help in COVID when a lot of people were able to go be at home and be safe, right? And so if you guys don't know any nurses or teachers particularly, there are a lot of people who are mentally beat up. It's so unfortunate. I know a lot of teachers. I know a lot of people in the education system, and I know a lot of nurses as well that are fed up with them realizing that the hospitals and the school system don't really care as much as they thought they did about them. They thought that they had a career that really valued them, and they realized that it really wasn't, that they're expendable or they are just a resource. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for people that I know, and I'm speaking for what I've seen. I know a lot of people that I just had to speak so many good words and pray and just really help them out during this whole pandemic, because having to go to work and put yourself in risk like the nurses that often do, and just not getting not feeling like the hospital systems care about you, that can drive anybody insane. That can drive anyone insane. So I'm here to do what I say I love. I want to help people, and this is something that's huge. Of course, I want to be here and help it. But you got me working 16 to 20-hour days. You got people traveling to different places. You are. I've heard they were trying not to pay the benefits and overtime as such because they just were trying to like cut corners. And I heard all type of horrible like staffing things they would do. Like if a floor normally had 4 nurses on it, they were putting only 2 nurses on the floor and expecting them to run these shifts. That was ridiculous with all these patients. I heard people, I'm telling you now, I can't sit in my mask too long. And I don't care what anybody says, it's still hard for me to sit in my mask for a long period of time. And you have people in full PPE, and they are literally having to be on these COVID units in these suits for hours on hours and hours, and you treat them like crap. What do you expect that to do to somebody that's been in the nursing field for 20 years, 15 years, whatever? They went to school. Everybody that's a nurse, they very minimally had to have a bachelor's degree, right? On a very minimal basis. And they put in hours and hours of work. And any doctors would tell you that that they wouldn't be able to do their job unless they had the nurses here, that triage, that check on the patient, that make sure they're well. And a lot of these nurses, even nurse practitioners, they can do, if not everything the doctor can do, right? Almost as much, right? So it's disheartening to watch so many people mental health are stretched to the very end, especially teachers as well. I've heard teachers so frustrated, even if they were remote, they were letting me know that how the kids were really having such a hard time. But let me say this, they were having a hard time with the parents. They telling me horror stories about how they dealt with some of the parents that just did not want to help out with their own kids, how they were dealing with their own mental health and trying to figure out life. And we already know teachers are not paid what they should be paid. So we're telling them to teach our kids and just deal with it, knowing they're underpaid, knowing they don't have the support that they need, knowing that the kids don't have the support that they need. And in this middle of this pandemic, and then mind you, we got the variant coming back up, and now they got certain schools that wanted to open right up, but then the teachers are like, hey, most places are not going back to work because you're putting us at risk. You're putting us at risk and we don't know what's going on. And so it's so much going on with that. It's just very disheartening. And I just can't help but to be concerned about the mental health of the people that put their life on the line during this pandemic. And so if anybody that's watching me or watching this after the fact, the replay, thank you for your service. We tell our military all the time, thank you for your service. But I'm going to say thank you for your service, for being a frontliner, for going out every day to help us, to help people that are in the middle of this. Thank you. I appreciate you more than you know. I'm sorry that people that employ you don't value you. I'm sorry that people who use your services, like parents and patients, don't value you. And I pray that you get a therapist and you get some help, because the mental wear and tear that's happening right now, I'm sorry, I think people believe that once COVID settles down, that it's suddenly over with. And I just don't believe that by any stretch of the imagination. I am super concerned because there is going to be residue that is left out here of what being isolated for these 2 years, what COVID, people losing their jobs, people dying, losing loved ones, people getting sick, things being exposed. I just don't believe people understand the weight of the mental health that we're going to experience after, way after COVID is over with. So just take care of yourself. Like I brought that up because I just wanted to remind, and I know I said nurses and teachers, but I'm also talking about like the fast, people always talk about the shortage of fast food workers and retail workers. Let me tell you something. Them kids are saying, I'm not coming to work because you treat me like crap, you don't pay me enough. And then I could die? No, ma'am, no, sir. And you know what? I support them. So when I go to a restaurant and they say they don't have any servers because people are not coming to work, I say, well, good for them. Hopefully they can find a career that can, or finding something that is their passion, and they don't have to put up with this. Because I worked in fast food before, so I know how that can be. You know, you're not hardly getting paid for something and you're risking yourself for what? It's not worth it. And in retail as well. Like, you know, I've been watching some of these TikToks where people talk about these abusive managers and how they talk to people and stuff. But people don't have to put up with it, and they're not. I love the boundaries that the new generation is putting up. They're saying no more. No, we're not putting up with this stuff because we don't have to. And I believe if a lot of more people stood up for themselves and put their boundaries up, they wouldn't be in situations for as long as they were being in such abusive situations work-wise. So, you know, kudos to you guys, and take care of yourself. You know, please take care of yourself. I'm going to piggyback off of that. And we were talking about the teachers. CNN just reported that on a story about how COVID is the school shutdowns and how it's affecting the students. So we just talked about the teachers. And I am so concerned because, again, if you guys don't know, I have a son that is 18 and he's currently at Morehouse. And he's doing great. But my reason of bringing him up is that he was in his junior year when COVID started in 2020. And then so COVID was started in March. So March of 2020. So he was a junior. So then it went into a senior year. So he was out of school all of the second half of junior year, all of his senior year. He went into school a little bit. I think they had towards the end, I think in like February or March, they had them that they could come back a couple of days a week. But most of his friends chose not to do it. So he didn't want to do it. And so he was mostly remote for most of his junior year and the senior year. And those are the years that you really get to, really experience high school. And I understand everybody like, well, at least he's alive. And I understand that. But we have to stop discounting our kids. We have to stop pretending like they didn't have feelings, that they didn't get affected, that they're not scarred from this. We have to stop pretending like they didn't go through something just as much as we did. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you my son did not want to do the at-home learning. I was struggling with that with him at first. But it took a friend of mine who is in education to really present the situation to me differently. And she said, listen, we never went through this as kids. We don't understand the social impact of this isolation. We don't understand how they feel about not being able to see their friends. We don't understand about how they feel about not being able to see the teachers. We don't understand some people need to learn in a certain way. A lot of people are not able just to get material and do it just asynchronously on their own and just have the material. A lot of people are struggling even bringing homework home. So you can imagine doing all of this at home alone and not really dealing with those feelings that was behind it. It's very tough. It's extremely tough. And I think that sometimes the parents can only see the struggle in them trying to help the kids, but they don't necessarily see the struggle behind the eyes of these kids, the mental health stuff, the depression that they can deal with, the anxiety that they are dealing with, the uncertainty. Because, anxiety is just fear of not knowing what the future holds, right? So the anxiety of all of that. And I think that we always say, oh, kids can bounce back, and we don't understand, like, this is traumatic, and there will be PTSD outside that after this. And I'm not trying to speak that on anybody. I am saying to make you guys aware, okay? After 9/11, the doctors tried to warn people. All of that stuff that came down from the buildings was going to affect people's lungs and different things. And they said the effects of people that were in the incident of the buildings falling down would have long-lasting effects. And people were just like, oh, yeah, okay, all right. And then now you hear about people that had cancer and they died because of the result of this stuff. And it's just old news, but that's real. These are people's lives. So this situation, there's long-lasting effects that come from it. And I just want our kids to be good. So if you have children that are in school that, or if you are a child and you're watching, don't feel any kind of way. Matter of fact, I'm gonna change what I was going to say. I want you to give them every tool that they need. If you were to get a divorce, you would get your child counseling because you want them to be okay. If your child was to get, hopefully this will never happen, but if your child was to get molested or if something horrible happened, you would try to get them therapy, right? Those are traumatic events, but this is also traumatic. And I believe if you could tell that your child is just not handling well, or you think they're acting out, most than likely it's a mental health concern. And you definitely need to take them and see somebody. I'm telling you, to me as a parent, even if you don't go yourself, go ahead and say, you know what? But for my child, I want to make sure they're good. I mean, to me, that's the least we can do as parents, because this stuff is serious. And I just want people to come from out of this unscathed as best as possible, right? Because I know this thing hit me, and I know that I'm in the field. So I know I can't imagine to people who have no information or no wherewithal or self-awareness about these issues, how they would deal with somebody. If you don't even know how to deal with yourself, how are you going to deal with it for your children? Come on, right? You don't know what you don't know. So get some help from somebody who does know. That's it. That's all. Shoot. I could go on, but I think I'm gonna finish up there. I think I hit quite a few things today. I told you I was a lot of stuff in the news, but bottom line is we really need to take care of ourselves and your mental, your mindset, your emotional, your mental, your physical, none of that stuff will just regulate. It's just not, that's not how it goes. We have to be intentional. We have to be completely intentional about how we move. And the reason I brought up these hot topics was so you can see that it's not just you, it's not just your life. This is everybody. We all deal with stuff. And this is how it ties in. And this is how I just want to keep on reiterating to you how this mental health piece is a real present part of your life. Stop pretending like it's not there. It won't go away because you pretend it's not there. That's not how it goes. So be intentional. Take care of yourself. And for those people who are Christians, you can pray, yes, but you pray and go to therapy. Okay? It's not either or. It doesn't have to be either or. It never has to be either or. I hate when people demonize therapy. I hate when people demonize doctors. That's all they are, doctors. When I go get my licensing, I'll be a doctor. Okay? So at the end of the day, let's get the help that we need to get in whatever capacity that you can. Okay. Candace, you said it's good. I enjoy hearing your perspective and what you tied in with talk. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to check out your channel too, because Candace Chronicles. I want to know what you're talking about. But yes. So guys, I know this is new. I know it's gonna take a second for people to matriculate over, but I'm not worried about it. This thing is going full-fledged forward, and I'm excited. Got some really exciting new things coming up. I'm gonna try a couple of different things. I just got so many ideas, and so I feel like I have a whole just palette of things I can work on, and I'm gonna try it out here. You guys let me know what you think about it. For anybody that's watching the replay, type replay so I know that you're watching the replay, please. And also like, comment, share, subscribe. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. All right, and don't forget to comment. I do read all the comments and I will reply. So I will talk to you guys later. And don't forget, like I always say, you are enough. You are enough to invest in your own healing. You're enough. You're worth it. And I'm going to say it until you believe it. I really am. You're going to believe it one day. So, yeah, girl, get active again. Post it. Listen, that's what we need to do. Go ahead and start posting content. It's time for us all to work in the purpose that we're supposed to do. And I already know that you got some stuff to put out there. Because I already want to read it. So I already listened to it, all of that. So go ahead and do what you got to do. I'm encouraging you all to do what you need to do. I'm excited about this year, 2020 year. Don't let nobody curse this year for you. This year is going to be amazing. This year is going to multiply whatever you put into it. And I'm going to just put that in there. I'm going to leave that like right there on the surface. This year will multiply whatever you put in it. So if you put in 1, it's going to multiply. Multiply. You put in 10, it's going to multiply. Whatever you put into it is going to multiply it. So I am excited. Don't let anybody talk negatively or speak negatively. And especially you don't do it. Don't let that stuff come out your mouth and into your thoughts. We are vision casting. My vision is strong. So love you guys. Have an amazing evening. Be kind to yourself. Today is Tuesday. Oh, I'll see y'all Thursday. 2 days. I thought today was Thursday. I'm so off. Anyway, I'll see y'all Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye.